Okay, everybody, good night, good evening. We may all ready to go already. I'd like to call order this July 15, 2024 special council meeting. Please rise for the invocation and remain standing for the pledge of allegiance.
Dear Heavenly Father, come to you this evening. Just ask that you watch over this council, our community, and our country. We thank those that have served and are still serving, and just ask that you help us move forward as a community and on to bigger and better things to guide us and clear our minds and hearts and do what's right, what's best for our community. We thank you in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, next, the roll call of council members and president for the record.
Councilmember Mack,
Present.
Councilmember York,
Present.
Councilmember Perkins, present. Councilmember Sexton,
Present.
Vice Mayor Atkins, Mayor Nicholson.
Present. Okay, next is the introduction of candidates for the open council seat. First person is Charles Cooper, 423 Hazelhurst Street. And the second person is Robert Dennis, 432 Alderman Place. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to be a candidate for the open council seat? No? Okay. At this time, I will give each candidate an opportunity to make a brief opening statement about why they are asking to be appointed to the open council seat. Mr. Cooper, you can go first, sir.
First of all, thank you for the opportunity and the honor to be here. I think I said this last time I was here, but I appreciate every one of you and the effort that you put in, and the time that you put in, the village of New Lebanon. My wife Teresa and I moved to New Lebanon in 2017. Since that time, we've grown to love it here. And we've become very interested in this village and committed to the potential and future of this village. It's an honor to be considered to fill the seat on the village council that has recently become vacant. I want to take just a minute to share a little of what I feel I can contribute if I were to be selected to fill this position. First, as I shared in my application and an attachment to that, I have a background as a leader and board member of a fairly large religious organization. That provided me with a great understanding of rules of order. We operated in our conventions and we operated in our business dealings under Robert's Rule of Order. I know they're used. We also learned guidelines and regulations, state law and federal law, financial management and accountability. And furthermore, and I believe foremost in my tenure in that position and office, it gave me great insight and wisdom in relation to people and in dealing with all the issues that people can bring. It's fair to say that I've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly serving in that position. And I've learned to deal with all fairly and with dignity. Secondly, people that know me know that I'm honest to a fault. I can keep a confidence, which drives my wife crazy, and I'm fair to all. And I would come into this position with no hidden agendas, preconceived notion regarding anyone or anything. I let the facts speak for themselves. And I believe it's elected to bring maturity, balance, and stability as the village works its way through this transition period. And I want to thank you for your time and your consideration. Appreciate it.
Mr. Cooper, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Robert Dennis, please, sir.
Give you a little bit of background about myself. I hail from Kentucky. My mom's side of the family is from Appalachian, Harley, Kentucky. My dad was a lifer in the military. I'm an Army brat, so we did a lot of travel. What I can contribute, I can list some of the backgrounds. I'm glad Mr. Cooper brought up the parliamentarian aspect. I worked 47 years, my last 47 years before retirement. Worked 6 years in the private sector. Last 41 years for government. 14 of those years for state government at the University of Kentucky and food service. The last 27 years for the Department of Veterans Affairs. I worked in the mental health department and I was a vocational rehabilitation counselor serving veterans. I also did 3 years as a professor at Wilberforce University in voc rehab. My background degrees is BA in poli-sci, master's in voc rehab counseling, and doctorates in organizational leadership. Dissertation was in servant leadership. That's another reason I'm in for this position. So, although I retired 5 years ago, I've still kept extremely active, keep my skills sharp. I do a tremendous amount of writing, reading, and pseudo research because I did a lot of research, including published research. And both licenses I have, say, well, I was licensed social worker, professional counselor, national life certifications, certified rehabilitation counselor. So I still keep online 4 to 5 times a month with the VA, the national VA, not the Dayton VA per se. And so I go to Zoom meetings, the Teams meetings, the other ones called. Yeah. People with the national organization I started is still going strong. It's Associated for National Rehabilitation Counselors professions. And I also go on for R&D, qualitative, quantitative research. And also I've got to maintain my licenses. I've not let them expire should I decide to go back to work. So I take a lot of CEUs to maintain those. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Okay. Do any of the council members have any questions for their council candidate?
I do.
Identify this one.
I'm on the partner above her.
Whatever, you can have one come up and answer for you.
Okay.
But they're voting there.
Mr. Cooper, be heard here then. What, you being here since 2017, you said?
Yes.
You being here since 2017, what do you know about our community and its residents?
I know that it has a long history. I know that back way before our day, there was a split of 2 communities to create New Lebanon. I know that, and I remember from my childhood years here, that in the Dayton area, there used to be quite a few more businesses here. It's lost a lot of businesses. Now, we were out of the area for a period of time, so I'm not familiar with the timeline of when those businesses shut down, left, moved, however. But like a lot of small communities, they lost it. Remember, there used to be a larger grocery store here, Kmart, if I'm remembering right. And so I know that it suffered loss of revenue. It had to do the loss of those businesses, which created financial stress. I know that culturally and socially, over the years, it had been more of a, say, more of a southwestern Ohio feel to it, but now I do believe the demographics are changing quite a bit. I notice I walk all the time, and I notice a change in the residents here, which I think is positive. That I notice they're younger, and I notice the different ethnic groups are moving in, which I find is positive. And so I know that about New Lebanon.
Okay.
I know that's had some political turmoil lately, but that's another issue.
What do you see as the most important issues facing our community?
I think like every community, peace and safety. You can't have anything else if you don't have peace and safety. Quality of life cannot improve for anybody until that's a hallmark.
What, do you have any experience in civic involvement or government at all?
Just opening city council meetings for a larger city in California as a minister prayed. And we did bring some permitting issues, but other than that, no.
Do you have any ethical or moral convictions that would prevent you from making certain decisions, if you were elected?
No, I'm not trying to be flippant with my answer, but unless you pass an ordinance and we murder everybody born on Friday, then I'm not have any problem.
What is your vision for our community and how do you plan to achieve it?
Well, how to achieve is a whole other issue, but I would like to see an atmosphere where smaller entrepreneurial businesses, small manufacturing perhaps, could find a place to establish a base in this area. To do that, I think some of the steps are already being taken here, that the infrastructure seems decent enough to support some modest growth. But the biggest thing you would look at is infrastructure, your internet service, your water, sewer, electrical, that type of thing. And promote New Lebanon to the degree the budget would allow to let other areas of this state and even the country know that we're here. That would be the best way that I could think of to grow the village.
What do you see as the biggest challenges facing our community and how would you address them?
The biggest challenge, I think, in New Lebanon at the moment has to be with the idea. I mean, there's infrastructure issues, you know, again, there's budget constraints. I think that New Lebanon's biggest issue right now is that there is not at least it seems not to be organized effort to involve people in the growth of the village in the sense of, like I said, the entrepreneurs, people that have business ideas, that type of thing. Also, the young people here are very much in need of some outlet of some sort. And that can create issues because, you know, I read Facebook and you read about the mischief that kids get themselves into. And yes, kids are kids.
Yeah.
Okay, but some of it can be damaging to others and to them if they're not there. And so that would be the biggest issue that I would see. As far as how to involve all the kids in that, you can get civic groups, you can get religious groups, you can partner with different people with an interest in that and see if something can develop out of that. Again, but all of this boils down to another main issue, which I believe our city manager might agree to, is that you have financial constraints. You know, money and the availability of funds to do some of those things right now is limited, which the answer to that is you need to create revenue. The way you create revenue is you bring business. That's how it works.
Do you have any questions for me?
Excuse me?
Do you have any questions for me? It's okay, no.
No, I can't remember, now, I know everybody here, I attend the city council meetings. And I did have a question, only for Councilmember Joy, how long have you been on the council? Because you were on, it seems to me, don't get me wrong, you've been on the council quite a while.
14 years.
14 years, okay. I thought it'd been quite a while, I was just curious. Everybody else I'm pretty well aware of, it's good to see Councilman Burger.
That's all I have for you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Someone saying. Do you have anything that you would like to add to what you know about the community?
Okay.
To you, Mr. Dennis,
I'd like to mention that I've been here 14 years
14.
in the Dayton area since '93. My boss lived here and she gave me a deal I couldn't refuse on the house, sweet deal. What I know about the community, I've attended 2 different churches since I've been here. So I've got to know a lot of the different members from backgrounds. And also about the community. I'm in contact with several of my neighbors, and I'm very blessed to have that in case something goes wrong. During the pandemic, it's nice to have a neighbor knock on my door as a nurse. Some reason she thought I was old. She thought I might need some help. Appreciate it. And so, in our church, we have yearly meetings open to the community, and we get people from the community. Don't go to our church, flat out, just don't go. And so that I also teach children's worship service, one of the teachers, and it just mushrooms, and you see all these people who are looking, in my case, for spiritual growth. They don't have it, so that's the one thing I know about the community. It's, we've got several churches here, so there's a lot of people looking for that. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, yes. How do you plan to engage with the community if you're elected?
I would need to get out there and particularly if you're take some business growth, and not only business growth, but people who businesses you might need information, get out there. Part of what I did as manager the day, I didn't do strictly clinical. My position was extremely unique that we had what's called compensated work therapy programs. The key word is therapy, not work. And so I had to go out only at RVA, but the community all over, I mean, literally all over the county. I'd be at the glass companies, I'd be at the manufacturers. I also learned that just because something isn't red, you shouldn't touch it. I touched the hot cauldron while I was at one of the plants at the first aid. So I had to negotiate a lot of agreements. I can't use the word contracts with employers. So if you wanted some people to look with rounds up here, I'd say, how many you want part-time, you want full-time, you want first shift, et cetera. And then you give me a position description, I get to see that, go out and do that. I was engaged with engineering quite a bit. Because we had over 100 veterans in Ohio. And I did a business plan, not only for the employees I supervised, but also for the veterans, which was up to 100. 2 separate business plans for budget. Our high for one year was today's money is about 1.2 million. So that's giving a lot of a lot of agreements with employers. And I did, and one time I had conversations with Robin, the finance. No, Kelly, yes. But we had one of our veterans, who called and they said they're trying to charge me taxes. Contacted her and said, you can't do that. It's a national program, so it's the IRS, they won, you cannot charge the taxes. So I've had a lot of contacts. Also, I've had contacts with, let's see, environmental management, a lot with the police. Not that anyone would ever come in and demolish a house at our place. Because that wouldn't happen. So I had a lot of contact with that. Also had some training with the police as well. They gave me training, and I got, after 3 years and 1 week training, I got a patch from the chief of police. So like, someone's gonna come in, one person, they're gonna try to take over the place. They give us training like that, takedowns, Brazilian jiu-jitsu. So my point is, I talked with a lot of different agencies. Think of the day VA as it is, it's called VA campus. It's a city unto itself. We have very few businesses. There are some businesses at the VA where we work with my Turner to get some stuff in. Daycare centers, another program, canteens, very small businesses. But everything else is very similar to the structure that you have here. The IT, I've worked extensively with IT. I was one of the trainers. We had 200 employees. They had to train me to train you. I get a big giant room up. That show you the know-how software. I also had to set up the 20 different computers for veterans, 3 different locations. IT can't teach that. It's against the law. They cannot do it. So I had to go call to Sinclair, learn how to do a server operating system for that as well. So in terms of the infrastructure, it's hard to find someone who think of those who Lebanon that I haven't worked with the day in that respect. And you mentioned something else that when you mentioned parliamentary procedures, I forgot. I did R&D for 10 years on the tribal duties at the day. I was the last 4 years I served as chair and vice chair and chair of research committee, which means we dealt with Wilberforce University, the R&D. So I'm a little rusty, but we did everything that you were talking about too in terms of parliamentary procedure. They're good. So 41 years ago, also I was at the University of Kentucky. I was the graduate representative at the University of Kentucky, when we served not only with the student council but also with the University of Kentucky faculty council.
And have you been to any council meetings in the past?
In the past, yeah.
And then my last question for you is, what do you see as the biggest challenge facing our community, and how would you address them?
I just went online and took a look at some of the previous minutes and some of the recordings. It looks like some of the issues are they're not being perhaps enough ready per se. Okay. And the question is, how do you increase that? You raise taxes, you don't get reelected. A lot of people aren't happy about taxes. Again, getting other business growth in, and there has been some recent growth. I noticed it there. I went online. Looks like you've gone from 30 to 40 plus businesses. That's helpful. You've got some. I noticed you've got a whole lot. I walk all over Lebanon. I noticed you've got a whole lot of new growth, particularly where I'm at. 15 different houses. That also increases to the tax base for the property taxes as well. I'm sorry, what was the question again?
The biggest challenges facing our community, and how would you address them? I think you pretty much.
Okay.
And that's all. Do you have any questions for me? Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
She asked the question.
Mr. Joy, anything, sir?
I have nothing, thank you.
Mr. Perkins.
No, thank you.
I don't have any questions, I just have a comment for both of you. We all appreciate you guys stepping up and taking an interest in this. It's a difficult job. And it's not an easy job. But showing that attitude and that intestinal fortitude to come forward and help our community get better is what we all strive on doing. And being a new mayor and newly elected along with a couple other council members, that was a promise that we made to this community. We're upholding it as far as we see it. And that's what we would like to see for the open seat council position. Okay. I don't have any questions for you. Thank you for being here. I definitely do. Like I said, this is a difficult job to do. Can't please everybody, but we try to do our best. And the little onesie twosie things that we can do for our community, we're gonna get there someday. It's just gonna take some time, okay? So I thank you both for that, okay? I appreciate that. Does anyone from the public have any questions for the council candidates? No? Okay. Before we adjourn, each candidate will have an opportunity to make one final brief closing remark. Any, do you have any, sir? No? It's up to you. Okay, sure.
I've kind of been in a position that you're in, having to make leadership decisions. And it's not easy. And you thanked us for being here. I want to thank you for the privilege of being here. Just to present ourselves. The biggest asset New Lebanon has is people. And what I can commit to is that I love all people. I respect all people. And I respect their dignity. And I want them to succeed. And I will work as hard as I possibly can to see that happen. That's all I really have to offer. I've got a lot of background in various things, but that's the biggest thing. Appreciate it. Thank you again for having me.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Mr. Dennis, any final comments?
Just one last one. Also got that part of my job was doing a ton of metrics. And so I was real good at finding patterns. So when they say the workload is not adding up, I gotta find out why. And so I worked a lot with the computers to figure out why some software statistics isn't getting to the powers that be up high. And so I was able to do that. And also, I was on the R&D committee. Our minutes, I'm not exaggerating, our average minutes is 800 pages long. Average. A good once a month we met. The R&D, we do a lot of R&D. We submit it, it's really big. They don't print it out, we read it in PDF form. A good day is only 600, a bad day is 1,600. So we had to go through all that. And so I'm real good for recognizing the veterans things that shouldn't be there for that. And so I've had a lot of experience working with that as well.
Good, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Before we adjourn, each candidate will have an opportunity, what you guys said. I just wanted to bring up one thing for both of you guys. There are opportunities within the village for boards and committees. We do have openings in several boards and several committees. So if that is something that you show an interest in, that is just as important in my eyes as what we do up here, I ask that you reach out to the city manager and apply for any and all, whatever you want to get into. I'm sure that we will accept you graciously, okay? For boards and committees, there's lots to do, okay? And we would love to have you doing something, okay? All right, with that being said, I want to thank everybody else for coming out here. Kind of short and sweet, took about 30 minutes. And at this time, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Councilmember Sexton,
Yes.
Councilmember Joy,
Yes.
Councilmember Back,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Atkins,
Yes.
Mayor Nickerson,
Yes.
Councilmember Perkins. Yes.
Okay, everybody, thank you. Have a nice evening. Be safe. We're